Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Evelyn and today I wanted to talk about the two different lifestyles, or shall I say the two diets I had and how they affected my FSH level during my fertility treatment and how they affected my egg count. I had a couple months ago, it's been already a while, a request to answer that question because I had a video up, I can link it up here, about my FSH level and what my doctor thinks about it. And someone asked me if I could do a video on what I ate and how it affected my fertility or my FSH and egg count. And yeah, I finally have some time. I have a 8 months old right now sleeping in the crib, and with Max it's a little hard to do videos right now. Yeah, it's just very time consuming, not the video itself but the editing. So today I have a little bit of time and I thought I'm gonna answer this question. And yeah, without further ado, let's just start in, and I try to keep it as short and informative as possible. I do have to mention that everybody is different, everybody is an individual, and every woman has different other health issues going on maybe. So what worked for me may not work for you, or you may have to adjust differently. So this is just an overall information how it affected me. And I can say before I start, I do not have a gallbladder, so I have a hard time absorbing vitamins and minerals, which it makes harder. And I'm a very bad drinker. I do not, I have to remind myself every day to just hydrate enough for my cells. Yeah, and now we just start. We wanted to have a second child when Vincent was about 8 months old or so. We kind of knew we want to have another child. And I also still wanted to get rid of the last baby weight I still was carrying from my pregnancy, which I always have a hard, not always, but I know I have a hard time when I gain weight in a big lump. It's hard for me to lose weight, especially with all the hormones and stuff. For women, it's not as easy to lose weight as for men, especially when we have hormonal issues going on. So I went on a ketogenic diet. I did the intermittent fasting. I had lemon water, warm lemon water in the morning, and then I had a coffee at 10-11 o'clock around, and then between 12 and 2:30 I started eating. And I usually had the same meals almost every day for, I would say, for a couple of months at least. So I always would have just a huge omelette. I would put in like 4 eggs, I would whisk them with a little half and half. I would fry up some mushrooms, a whole bunch of spinach, tomatoes or bell peppers, whatever I had in the kitchen, onions. And then I would fry some bacon slices, 2 or 3 bacon slices up, or I would alternate that with like wild smoked salmon. And that was my huge meal of the day, and I had it between 12 and 2:30, and it lasted me throughout almost the whole day. The only thing I took to work then was a caveman bar, like a nut bar with some dark chocolate on it, and then I was good. I had a little bit the keto flu, and I think since I didn't do the 7 salads, I did take my supplements though, my prenatal, my vitamin D. I did a little bit of the vinegar water with honey and electrolytes. I did that, but I didn't have the 7 cups of salad as it's recommended, because I thought I put already so much spinach in there, it should be fine. Yeah, the good thing is I lost all my weight. I lost 6 kilograms in about a little over 6 weeks. I got leaner, I got rid of the excess body, the water what your body holds with all the carbs and stuff. That was pretty good, and I had more energy. I felt more not so tired. That was good on that hand. I went in for my blood work then. I went to Shady Grove and when it's been a year past your last visit at Shady Grove or any fertility clinic, I think, they redo all your blood work. So they did my blood work, they did the egg count, yeah, all this stuff. And my FSH was 13.8, which to me seems high. I was only 39 years old and I had 9 eggs. And my first FSH measurement when I went in for the treatment with Vincent was 10.2. So that's quite a jump. Although I read FSH and AMH, they all can vary. It's not like it's always that high. It can go up and down, up and down. It all depends on so many different factors. So that was a little devastating. I did not qualify for the shared cost, shared risk anymore, which I had with Vincent, where you pay a lump sum of money, a fixed sum, and then you have 6 tries, and then you get a baby basically, or not. So we did the multi-cycle discount. They put me on the highest doses of Menopur again and Gonal F. And what happened was, what I noticed before I went into this fertility treatment again, I was very mucused up. I was laying in bed at night and I always had this mucus sitting right here. And I had really trouble swallowing, and it went down and it came back up, and it was really like gooey kind of mucus. And I think I just overdid it with the whole like half and half and too many eggs and every day and bacon and stuff. I think that would work better for someone who still has a gallbladder, but that's just my thought about it. Yes, so I went in and I did the treatment, and what happened is I started out with 9 eggs, and every other day you go in for the monitoring, I lost 2 eggs. So I went from 9 eggs to 7 to 5 to 3, and on the day of the egg retrieval, I had 1 egg left. And in hindsight, I should have just cancelled the cycle, because once they do the egg retrieval, that counts kind of like as your first try. And the egg, of course, I must say it fertilized. The problem is it was too slow. So on day 5 blastocyst, my embryo only was at day 3. And on day 5 or early day 6, I was called that the embryo kind of disintegrated and dissolved, or I don't know, it just fell apart. And that was the end of my first cycle of the multi-cycle discount we had. And multi-cycle discount is 2 tries and then that's it. Okay, so then I was pretty heartbroken, because then my doctor already recommended an egg donor, and my husband said, yeah, it's better to do an egg donor. Do you really want to go through this again and stuff? And at this time I wasn't ready yet to think about that. I was open to it. But I wasn't ready to just close that door and open the other door. And I also had the thought like, what is if I don't see myself in that child? So I still needed, not only had to process the loss of this embryo, what could have turned into life, but I also had to process the whole, what if the second cycle doesn't work? What if we do egg donor? I still had to process so many things and grieve at the same time, so I wasn't really ready yet. So I dived into, I tried to change ketogenic diet. I lost all the weight I wanted to lose, and I went into juicing. And I started out with celery juice every morning, and I could feel the difference. I felt more hydrated. I felt like my body feels good on celery juice in the morning. I didn't change, I did change the eggs. I phased that out for a while, and I just had like, I don't know, an English muffin with some jam, or a soft-boiled egg with some salmon. So I kind of like went back and forth, like carbs and then low carb, low carb, but I always kept my juice. And then I bought a book I can go get that real quick, and I show you the juicing books which I got, which helped me really understand a lot about cellular health and energy and life's force, and how vegetables and fruits have still their energy even after they have been harvested and they lay in the supermarket for a couple of days. They still hold all this life's force energy in them, which you don't have with an egg or a piece of meat, because that's basically like dead. But let me go get these books real quick. Alright, so the first one I got is Live Foods, Live Bodies. This is from Jay Cordage. There are recipes in there for salad, raw food, and juices and all that stuff, and then it will explain what juice is good for what. And he explains all the importance about enzymes and how our cells need enzymes, and you're born with so many, and then after you hit a certain age, it kind of like your enzymes are gone. And this is he actually had kidney cancer, and he met Dr. Gerson, and he did the Gerson protocol, as far as I remember from watching his YouTube videos. And he actually cured himself. He lived to be 93, and then he died. That's a good age to die, healthy, not sick. And this one was the other one. This is from Dr. Norman Walker. He I think lived to be 113, died in an accident. And this book is all about carrot juice and the endocrine system and what it all does for your endocrine system, and other juices too for certain headaches, hay fever, colics, colitis, cancers, bronchitis, bronchitis. So this is a good book too, with the carrot juice and endocrine system. And I read this already a couple of times, and it's very informative. And after the celery juice, I did start with every morning having my carrot juice. I would put a little apple in there with the to oomph it up a little bit. And I had this, and then 6 months later or so, because when I have a failed ICSI, I always try to take a few months off and to recover and prep my body again. So I did this, and 6 months later I went back in for the second ICSI treatment, and my FSH went all the way from 13.8 down to 9.94. And my eggs were, instead of 9, I had 12. So overall this was much better. My doctor wasn't really so impressed by it. I thought, wow, this is awesome. My doctor's like, yeah, whatever. We still treat you with the medicine based on how your outcome was on the last treatment. So I was on the highest meds on Gonal F and Menopur. The only thing we switched was I didn't go on the pill before. He put me on Clomid to get maybe 2-3 more eggs. And I had more eggs, and they didn't drop off this time. I had, you know how you go in and then one time you have so many and the next day you have this many and whatever. So I had, on the day of my egg retrieval, I had 4 eggs. One was a little smaller, so they couldn't use it. And the 3 ones, they fertilized all of them. And they supposedly all didn't make it. To me, it's kind of, I don't know why 3 would be all like not good. My doctor said it's about the egg quality. They're just not good quality eggs, which in hindsight, I can understand with the lifestyle I used to live 20 years ago and my age and no gallbladder. But it was the same scenario basically. They waited till day 5. On day 5 they canceled my embryo transfer, telling me they're all behind. 1 dropped off, I had 2 left, and they were too small. Or not small, they were too slow developing. And he said, let's wait till day 6 and see if they do a growth spurt. If they catch up, do a growth spurt, then we use them. And if not, the cycle is cancelled, of course. And that's exactly what happened again. My cycle was cancelled. Knowing now what I know now is I should have done way more with nutrition a long time ago. I'm 42 years old now. But sometimes informations come later to you in life. You just don't know it. I used to do the red raspberry tea. And when I was younger, I would say up to like 35, my fertility was much better. I did have an unexplained infertility, but back then I had 22 eggs and everything was fine. They just didn't know why. Although my husband had, through medicine, he had to take a low sperm count. So I would say up to 35, my fertility was kind of like good, and I could have gone pregnant naturally, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And yeah, I ended up doing an egg donor, which I absolutely not regret. I actually found out we have 4 children in our street who are egg donor eggs, because the mothers had like cancer and one was older, and I couldn't even tell the difference, and you really don't. And I love my Max is the same as I love my Vincent. And yes, that's to that. I hope it helped you a little bit. For some people, low carb works. For some, they need a little bit more protein in their diet, which you also have to take in consideration with kidneys and make sure they filter good. Other people need a different lifestyle, but I think bringing more raw juices in our daily life, and salads and raw food, and then high quality protein a little bit on the side isn't that bad of an idea. That is just my thought of, that's just what I'm thinking. And yeah, that's it. I hope this video helped, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.